Welcome back to another episode of Movie Mayhem. As always, I'm Spanky.
I'm G.
So, as usual, our shout-outs go out to Chucky's Playground. Great place to be.
Yeah.
There's lots going on. You know, it's past Halloween, so maybe some of the hype will die down, but we're still going strong.
Yeah, should be the second week of November at this time.
And, you know, shout out to Metal Matt. He's doing his podcast. He does a couple a week. Chucky 115, awesome. You know, still making those images and tributes.
Yep.
Good job, man.
Love it.
So, we're just going to jump right into this movie for this week, which we did. It was from 1997.
Yeah, and we have to note that I've seen this movie before.
It's one that G has seen, and she was surprised I've seen it, and I'm surprised she's seen it.
I know.
It's one of those ones where not a lot of people have seen the movie.
No, I thought I was literally the only person.
And I wouldn't blame people if they haven't.
No, it's not great.
By any means, but it's just a nostalgic bad movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's John Leguizamo.
And it's kind of like John Leguizamo's attempt at being Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
Yeah.
Because this movie, he's kind of just doing all these random impressions.
You should do your Adam
noises.
Sandler impression.
Stop looking at me, Swan. Shampoo is better. I go on first and clean the hair. No, conditioner is better. I make the hair silky smooth. Really, fool? Really?
I didn't expect you to go that far, but thank you.
It's too damn hot for a penguin to just be walking around.
And the whole impression was from Billy Madison.
But something that would have been nice brought to my attention yesterday. I have a movie.
Okay. Jesus. God.
You asked for it.
5 minutes ago.
But this 1997. This movie's called The Pest. And how did you first see this movie?
Okay, you're gonna laugh. Okay, so and I saw this relatively recently. I think it was in 2011. I was in high school, and I remember I saw some kind of stand-up thing for John Leguizamo, and I thought he was hilarious. And so I looked up to see what else he's in, because I know the one movie and this is legit the title, To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. That's the title. And so I saw The Pest, and I'm like, I'll give this a watch, and I rented it.
You found it.
I found it, and I rented it, because there's this one store back home that has literally every movie on the planet, and I rented it, and I'm like, what the hell is this? But yeah.
And I probably, this came out in 97. I probably saw this, in the same year. I mean, when exactly did this movie come out? February 97. So
I was 2.
I was 7 but February. So I recall seeing this when I was around 7 or 8 years old, and I went to Florida, Orlando, Florida. Went to Disney World, Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, back when they actually were pretty cool and they had the Jaws ride and all that shit. But and it was on. It was back when one of the selling points, I think, of hotel rooms was you get HBO.
Oh, was that?
And
I don't know.
I would assume it's on HBO because it was very quick to be playing on TV. It would have been just under a year. And I know HBO will play a lot of movies months after they get out of theaters. And this was summer I went there. So it could have easily been summer.
You went to Florida in the summer?
Yeah.
My God.
But anyway, it's just I saw it on TV and I remember it. And I must have been in high school when I kind of remembered it. And I was like, what the fuck was that movie? And I found out, and it just took me so long to search it out and get a hold of it.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did.
And honestly, it's one of those movies that, I couldn't, the whole plot of it was fuzzy, but the only thing I really remembered that stuck in my head
was the opening?
That opening
It's called Voodoo Mambo, and it's an opening scene, and they also do in the credits, it's John Leguizamo. He's getting ready for the day in the shower, and he's singing this song.
About how he's a scam artist.
Yeah. Voodoo Mambo,
a chili combo. Old school beat me flat and free.
G knows the whole goddamn
thing. Yeah, I do.
Brr, see? Nobody messes with the frog, see? I'm in the mood to scam simply because I can.
Isn't it? He's supposed to be
Alfalfa
from Little Rascals?
So
Spanky.
And so that's kind of like the big hook. That's actually what I remember too. Is that and another scene we'll discuss later.
Yeah. That
will shatter Metal Matt's heart. But so other than John Leguizamo, he's in other movies like he was in Kick-Ass 2. If he's a recent movie, he was.
Was he? I've never seen any of the Kick-Asses.
Yeah, so he's like not like a butler, but like a driver, chauffeur, stuff like that of the motherfucker.
John Leguizamo has like small roles.
He was Luigi in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh my god, that movie.
So he's the voice of Sid the Sloth from the Ice Age movies.
I fucking hate Ice Age.
And I'm looking at Vanishing on 7th Street. That's another kind of obscure movie that I remember. He was in that.
Not a good movie. He's in bad movie. The Happening, not a good movie.
You've seen Vanishing on 7th Street?
Yeah, because I was in that John Leguizamo kick. I ordered it.
He's in a lot of different various movies. You're gonna know who he is. I mean, the most common one I knew him from was probably Super Mario Brothers.
I remember seeing that in the 90s when I was a kid with my brother.
Yep.
And it was bad.
And other people it has in this movie is Jeffrey Jones. And
he's that guy that everyone knows, but no one knows his name.
Yeah, like we had to look at the IMDb.
That ginger guy.
And he's, what was it?
I can name so many movies he's in. He's in Beetlejuice. He's
the dad.
He's the father in Beetlejuice. He is in Sleepy Hollow. He's
Principal Rooney in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That, too.
He's also in Howard the Duck. If you've ever seen that.
What the fuck is that?
No. He's the vice president in one of Metal Matt's favorite movies, How High. Got Blunt.
I've never seen that movie.
It's a big stoner movie. He's in The Crucible. That's interesting.
Oh, is that Felix the Cat? Go up?
Felix the Cat.
Oh, no. I don't know.
Eek the Cat is a cartoon.
Oh, whatever.
But yeah, so he's in a lot of different stuff.
Charlie Dates, Beetlejuice.
So he's in there. He's the main antagonist, and
yeah.
Other people that the only other one that may ring a bell is
Freddy Rodriguez.
No, I don't know.
I only know him in some weird like Latino Christmas movie I saw.
Yeah, I've never heard him, but the only one I know is Aries Spears. He plays one of John Leguizamo's characters' best friends, and the only thing you're really gonna know him from is he does a lot of impressions, and he was on Mad TV, so he was pretty much like a second-rate SNL actor.
Yeah.
He did a lot of Shaq. He could do Shaq impressions. He could do a lot of.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So that's kind of what
that's who he is.
Yeah, Aries Spears. He's pretty funny. And he was in Jerry Maguire. He played the brother of the guy Cuba Gooding Jr. played. So
he's in Josie and the Pussycats. The Proud Family movie.
The Proud
Wizard Kelly.
But anyway, into this movie. The plot of this movie is John Leguizamo plays a guy named Pestario, Pest for short.
Yeah.
And he has his friends Ninja and Chubby, and he's a scam artist. He's never up to any good. He's Puerto Rican or Cuban. He's Latino.
Yeah.
And he lives in Miami, and this plot is just so ludicrous. You're gonna be like, really? Every time we start moving on,
yeah.
He owes the Scottish mob like.
And you better take him seriously.
Yeah, and there is so much like subtle racism.
Oh my God, so much of it. I didn't realize it.
Like it's just like when he's talking with the Scottish mob on the phone, he's trying to distract him, and he's like, "It's Sean Connery's birthday," and they all start playing "Happy Birthday" on the
sign of the cross.
Yeah, and
but the Scots aren't even Catholic; the Protestant. Or is that the end?
So that's kind of gives you the setup of what he is and how his life is, and then Jeffrey Jones, the antagonist, his name is Gustav, and he has his associate Leo and his son Himmel. They're Germans. They're neo-Nazis. But they're not like frickin' American History X neo-Nazis. They don't have the swastika.
Take a knife.
Yeah, and they're just like those. They have those horrible German accents, and it turns out what they want to do is they want to hunt Pest. Now they accidentally pick him by mistake, but they've hunted every single race of human.
Yeah, because they've just hunted every animal.
Yeah, the guy Gustav hunted every animal by the time he was 30, so he started hunting people, and he lures Pest into signing an agreement for it by saying he will win $50,000 if he survives 24 hours. And Pest agrees to it because he needs the money. And it's just, between all these plot points, just fill it in with John Leguizamo trying to be Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Like, just acting goofy. And, and then you meet his son Himmel, who is gay. Weird homoerotic type.
Yeah, like...
Because he was locked in a room with a snake for 6 weeks. So now he has
We've been through everything together.
So he has like a weird attraction.
Yeah.
And so they kind of play on that the whole time. Every scene he's in, and it's... So they pretty much... There's, they take him to his Gustav's private island where he tries to hunt them. And he makes him dress all tribal.
Yeah.
Because it's the clothes of his ancient ancestors. and there's kind of just some ridiculous scenes in there, like the one where he's crapping in the woods.
Yeah, indigestion.
And you can hear like echoing through the jungle.
Good God, it was disgusting.
And as he's taking his shit, they're walking through the woods. Like, of course, Pest isn't really. He's given a little like pea shooter gun, but like the Germans, they have like all these like professional weapons, like sniper rifles and pistols and a bazooka. And the son accidentally sets off the bazooka and it goes right at Pest while he's taking a shit. And it blows him up into the air out of his shoes. And they think he's dead for a second, but then Pest finds his way back to Miami, where he meets up with his buddies Ninja and Chubby. And that's where he promised he'd go to his...
girlfriend.
Who's black.
His Africanicus Romanicus.
Yes, yeah, and he'd go to her place for... dinner with her parents, where he dresses all super African.
Yeah. Like
wearing an afro and like a tribal dress, and has like bongos and shit, and he's wearing an afro. It's told you this movie has a lot of racism.
Ridiculously racist.
And he has dinner with them, and then of course the Germans show up and try. His girlfriend has a weird name. It's like Xantha.
It's Xanthia.
And her friend's
name is malaria, which is I think everyone knows that malaria is a very prominent disease in Africa. So it just kind of continues from there, and they tranquilize all of Xanthia's family, including her, and Pest gets away with Chubby, but his friend Ninja gets tranquilized because he knows like karate. His name is Ninja, and they're looking for places to hide, and they're like, oh, where won't they look? And Chubby, played by Ari Spears, is like, over there. There's a fucking synagogue.
Yeah, he points to a synagogue, and of course they interrupt temple, and there's
and a Scottish mobster is in the synagogue.
Oh, because the Germans they know he's in debt with the Scottish mob, so they call them and try to get them to look through the city for them so they'll know where he is. And so after the synagogue doesn't work out, they go to a club. And this is the scene that's just going to crush Metal Matt's hopes and dreams. They pull up to these like two like...
white guys.
Yeah, this like these two crackers.
Oh my God. You say that as if you're black to begin with.
No, it's how black comedians do impressions of white people.
I know.
It's like Dave Chappelle.
Would you like some grape juice?
And and he's asking about the party, and these two white dudes they were getting racist.
Oh, they were really racist.
They were telling Pest like, "Oh, maybe you can get in at the service." You can get in the
servant store, man. No.
And all this other stuff. And they start doing impressions, and all of a sudden they start playing. Pest is in this. They have this blue doorless Jeep. It's just him and Chubby, and they start playing this rap song called "Spank It." And they start like dancing and shit, and then all of a sudden the two white dudes they play rock. And they start playing. Well, I don't know. Someone's ice cream is getting melted.
Yeah, melted to the floor right now.
And they just start cranking it up. They play "I Love Rock and Roll" by Joan Jett, and then, Pest ain't having none of that shit. So
no,
he don't play that. So he gives Chubby the signal, and Chubby flips a switch, and this is this weirdest ass scene. Is this Jeep like a hydraulic lift emerges from the bottom of it? And these panels come out, and it turns their Jeep into this giant stereo.
Yeah. So it's essentially like a ghetto Optimus Prime.
Yeah. And it's just, spike it.
And these white people are just not able to take it.
And they're turning it up so loud, the car falls apart that the white people are in, and all of a sudden they, pass out, and they take their tickets to get into the club. And that's how they get in there. And that's where they get in the club, and they find Scottish people. The Scottish mob, so they try to hide more, and that's where Pest gets the idea to impersonate a Japanese guy.
Yes, because no one would notice.
And earlier in the movie, you find out he scams as a, was it Chinese delivery boy?
A Chinese delivery boy.
So, so this really hits a lot of different races.
Yeah.
So he's dresses to be Japanese, like the typical Japanese businessman. Suit. The slicked back hair and the thick glasses. So I think the best comparison I'm thinking is if you remember that movie, it's very controversial. Almost, no, maybe not as bad as
Breakfast at Tiffany's?
That's kind of what it reminds me of, is Mickey Rooney from Breakfast at Tiffany's. That's kind of what he looked like. And
the fact that you've seen Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I've never seen it all the way through, but I just remember because it's controversial.
That's racist as hell. I forgot about that. And, Mr. Yuniyoshi. Yeah,
so that's kind of what he does, but then they figure it out, and Pest covers Gustav in some pheromone.
Yeah, it's essentially a sex hormone.
Yeah, and so it makes all the males in the room start trying to hump him.
Yeah.
And so that allows him to get away. And he does get away. And that's when the Scottish mob shows up and captures him and his two friends, because Ninja gets back in the mix. And he offers Ninja as collateral while he runs away with Chubby. And then Gustav calls and says he has all of Pest's family, his girlfriend and her family hostage.
Yeah, and her best friend Malaria.
Yeah. So he's like, well, if you're going to kill anybody, first kill Malaria.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you have to meet me here by this time or else we're going to kill him. So, it's winding down at this point. And it's on this big, armor. It's a ship that has a bunch of weapons on it.
Yeah.
So him and Chubby get in, fatigues, not the typical green camouflage, but it's the gray, black, and white, digital camouflage.
Like what everyone wore in the 90s?
Yeah. Well, this is a 90s movie.
Yeah, it is.
So, there's kind of a standoff between them, and that's where the German guy reveals, he poisoned Pest.
Yeah, he poisoned Pest because they have that good luck drink before the...
Oh, yeah, they do a toast.
The hunt, and apparently it's supposed to kill you in 18 hours, but Pest is extremely seasick.
When he was escaping the island.
Yeah, when he's escaping the island, they were on a boat, and he just puked it all up, essentially.
So he kind of tricked them, and then... But they don't reveal that until the next day. They kind of tell him as he's dying, they're like, oh, your $50,000 is in the bank.
Yeah, dumbass.
And so, he collapses, and the Germans kind of leave. They don't want his head anymore for a while.
His face is stupid.
Yeah. So the scene fades, and so you're supposed to think he's dead.
Yeah.
And then it goes next day, it's Gustav going to the bank to go to a safety deposit box. He's like, oh, to access my safety deposit box, no?
Oh my god, Spanky, your freaking impressions are terrible.
Terrible. But, yeah.
Oh, just shut up. Toaster strudel?
Toaster. Warm or flaky? toaster strudel.
That kid's freaking impression is terrible.
And so anyway, he goes there and he opens the safety deposit box and there's nothing in there but like a note. Then he gets a phone call and it's from Pest.
Yeah.
And he kind of explains everything.
Joke's on you.
And he's like,
I woke up.
There was more than 50 grand in that.
I took it.
And he's posing as the German ambassador.
Yeah, and then he's getting his ass, like, Gustav's ass.
Because Gustav was only staying in the U.S. because for some reason he wasn't allowed to return to Germany until the next day.
Yeah.
But he conned the cops and all that as the German ambassador to get that revoked.
Yeah.
And told them about how he was hunting people. So he gets him arrested, and then it's kind of a happy ending. Pest hops in the Jeep with his friends and his girlfriend, and they ride off. And then it plays the Voodoo Mambo scene. It's kind of a couple different scenes.
Yeah, amalgamated with the Voodoo Mambo song.
One stinky winky, oh, two stinky
I just remember
winky,
that one night when you were playing it, and I'm like, that sounds so familiar. And I'm like, what are you listening to? And you're like, this is the song from this one movie called Pest with John Leguizamo. And I'm like, no way.
So, yeah, I mean, this movie is pretty bad.
It is, like, terrible.
But it's just one of those, it's a good bad movie because, like, for us, it's nostalgic.
Wait, what's the rating out of how many stars?
4.9.
Out of how many?
10.
Okay. I was going to be like, if it's out of 5, what the fuck?
Well, I'm just a little curious to see what this has on Rotten Tomatoes.
Bad.
But, like, yeah, like, it's just, you just remember it from the past. You remember seeing it, and you're like, oh, nostalgia.
But it's
boner.
so many, like, didn't it go to theaters? Like, I've never heard of anyone who's even seen it.
Probably, I mean, yeah, I haven't heard of anybody. Wow, it looks like inspired by a classic short story, The Most Dangerous Game. Wow. So there's actually some... So there's some different things about it. And, it was a critical dud, but it gained cult status due to the premise.
Yeah.
So, it's got a film score of 9% by the critics on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my god.
But, you know, it's entertaining. And, yeah, it's saying here, like, John Leguizamo comes off as more offensive than funny.
Yeah, because his talents don't match.
So,
the film grossed only $4 million.
It had a budget of estimated $17 million.
So it grossed less, only a fraction of what...
Yeah, but that's like, wow. It was rated PG-13. You know, so it was dud.
Yeah.
To say the least. But I mean, I enjoy it just because it's nostalgic. It's something you remember.
And it's childish and offensive.
Yeah.
That's why you like it.
Yep. Yeah, it's very childish. So, I mean, it's just one of those ones where I think if we recommend it, you're probably not going to like it.
Yeah, no. So,
I mean, if you want to venture in, go for it. But, I mean, you've been warned. I mean, yeah, it's bad, but it's one of those good bad movies.
I wanted to explore some of John Leguizamo's works at that point, and I will say that his stand-up is way better than his acting in those movies.
And that's pretty much all we have to say on the Pest. I mean, I'd say watch it. You know, you'll be a little entertained. You might find it funny, but, I mean, don't expect much.
No.
So, I don't think we've really decided what we're going to do next week.
No, we haven't.
I don't know. I mean, we have a couple options out there. We'll decide.
Yeah.
So we're just going to continue stockpiling these so we can give you the best audio quality available.
Right now we have about a month's worth.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yep. We have like by the time that we're recording this like 4 weeks in advance.
And I mean, I should be back here sometime in December, so.
So yeah, this won't come out until the
second week of November.
So watch out for November 1st, dudes. I don't know what happens on this. So if something happens, I predicted it.
Oh, shut up! You don't predict shit.
I don't know. I think your good friend Spanky would have something to say about my predicting skills, considering what's on TV right now this weekend.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Oh, you bloody cunt.
Oh my god, you just said the fucking... Oh.
Did Hagrid ever say that? No,
Hagrid doesn't say you're a cunt.
No, I thought he did. But anyway, we're going to keep recording these and keep getting some good episodes out to you. Try to, one thing I like to do is try to pick movies you probably may have never heard of. Ergo the Pest, Ergo Pinocchio's Revenge, Jack Frost.
Jack Frost is still like a menace.
Trick or Treat.
And movies that I haven't seen because I haven't heard of them.
So, suggestions are welcome. But we're going to try and keep it to ones that you guys may have not seen. So, thank you for listening. Just stay tuned. We'll keep posting these.
Yeah.
So, as always, just stay classy.
See ya.